Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the short afternoon broadcast from Brixton Inner Space Outreach, an organization of the World Spiritual University, Brahmakumaris. My name is Bobby John. I'm a student of Raj Yoga meditation. This week, I have great pleasure in introducing the theme, the power to discern, moving from confusion to clarity. If you ask me, it's one of the most important powers of the soul, where we can use this power to understand the truth from falsehood, the right from wrong, and the essential from the non essential. The emblem which represents this power is a jeweler who's trying to understand the difference between the fake jewels and the real one. And today, as you all know, it's very difficult because the fake ones look almost as real as the real ones. It requires a trained eye to understand this. So, in terms of spirituality, what is it that we are trying to discern? We are trying to discern the false identities that we have been identifying with. Because we have been identifying with the role, we have been identifying with this body, we have been identifying with the opinions that we have, because of which we create expectations from each of these identifications. And when these expectations are not met, what happens? We create emotions. If there is any uncertainty in the expectations being met, we create anxiety, stress, fear. If we blame somebody else for those expectations of ours not being met, we create emotions of irritations in the beginning, and then which can move towards anger, hatred, and sometimes even revenge. And when we are not able to blame anyone or anything for our expectations being met, we start blaming the self. And that's the root cause of depression. And when somebody else has what we desire or what we are expecting, we experience emotions of jealousy. So, if you ask me, the root cause of all these identifications is um, that we are identifying with who we are not. And when we are identifying with who we are not, we create this sense of insecurity. And this insecurity grows when these expectations are not being met. So once one lady asked me, Bobby, you are a householder, you are a dad, you are a husband and son and all that. So don't you have expectations? Is it practical to have a life without expectations? My answer is once we have the power to discern, the expectation starts getting less and less. You know why? We are able to um, do everything possible in our power, in our potential, to realize the objectives that we have set out to achieve. But because of the knowledge of some spiritual truths and the practice of being the consciousness or energy, we learn not to be worried about the outcome while being still fully focused to achieve those objectives, realize our potential, achieve those objectives. But we don't become disappointed or worried when those objectives are not met. In other words, we learn how to accept rather than to expect. Now, this is not easy. While I am saying this, I am not saying that I have zero expectations. I can confirm that my expectation level has significantly come down once I have started this journey and experienced or practiced trying to be the being and then do whatever roles that I do. What really happens, when you are having a stimuli, how do you get the patterns of thinking that we get? It's based on sense perceptions. It's based on memories and associations. It's sometimes we may have experienced trauma in our current life, which is there in our conscious mind. That would also influence this type of thinking that we have. And sometimes it may be there in our subconscious mind. And we may not even know why we are feeling the way we are feeling when we are faced with the stimuli. So, if we don't have the power to discern, what happens? There is a high possibility of an inaccurate interpretation of sense perceptions, which is whatever we are perceiving through the eyes, ears, feeling, etc. And we experience this as a feeling. And the spiritual university teaches us the first lesson that the teachings of the university gives us is to be the being and then do whatever roles that we are doing. This helps us to develop this power to discern. Also, connection with the supreme source of these powers, supreme source who is the ocean of love, ocean of peace, ocean of happiness. Accurately connecting to the supreme source also can help in developing this power to discern. So, for the next minute or two, let's try and come into this experience and try and experience this as a feeling with a couple of minutes of meditation. The sentences that I am speaking, I would request you to try and visualize this and come into that experience so that you can experience that as a feeling. Sitting comfortably, let's bring our attention to who we really are. I am a peaceful, powerful, loveful, blissful point of light, point of energy. This energy is not from this physical world. Like an invisible traveler, let's try and visualize this as a star in the center of our forehead. I am this invisible traveler who's a guest in this body, who has come from a different world into this physical world to play a role. This invisible traveler is observing this world like a guest. The uniqueness of the invisible traveler's observing is that he has zero attachments to all that he's observing. Because the invisible traveler knows he has an exit. What's the point in holding on to things, positions, possessions, when I know my exit may be imminent? When I am in this consciousness, every moment appears to be an extraordinary gift. I perform all the roles through my body with the attitude of a trustee. I take care of the body like a trustee. I take care of the relationships like a trustee. I have a relationship of non-attachment. there is that natural experience of gratitude. Thank you. I would request you to experiment with meditation so that you can emerge these energies that are already within us and experience this as a feeling. I would also encourage you to learn how we can connect to the supreme source of all these energies so that we can continue to charge the soul with which we can improve our power to discern. Thank you for listening. Happy experimenting.